The hospital's fluorescent lights buzzed like a swarm of angry bees, casting a cold glare on the Karen sisters' latest outrage. HOA and Kim, two women who wore their entitlement like a crown, had just spat on a cancer patient and smirked about it. It was a quiet Tuesday evening at St. Mary's Hospital, the kind where the hum of ventilators and the soft shuffle of nurses' shoes were the only sounds in the oncology wing. HOA, the elder sister, waddled through the corridor, her oversized purse swinging like a wrecking ball. Kim trailed behind, her phone glued to her hand, live streaming their every move to an audience of loyal complainers. Both were loud, brash, and utterly convinced the world owed them deference. Their target today was Lily, a 32-year-old cancer patient whose only crime was asking them to lower their voices in the shared lounge. Lily, frail from months of chemotherapy, had barely raised her voice. "Please, could you keep it down? Some of us are trying to rest." Her words were soft, almost apologetic, but to HOA and Kim, they were a declaration of war. HOA's eyes narrowed, her jowls quivering with indignation. "Who do you think you are, telling us what to do?" she snapped, her voice echoing off the sterile walls. Kim, ever the sidekick, chimed in. "Yeah, mind your own business, chemo girl." The sisters laughed, a cruel, guttural sound that made Lily flinch. The lounge incident had been bad enough, but the sisters weren't done. They followed Lily back to her room, their heavy footsteps thudding like a storm rolling in. HOA, her face twisted with disdain, leaned in close to Lily, who was now leaning on her four-pole for support. "You think you're special because you're sick?" HOA sneered. "We're here visiting our cousin, and we don't need some bald nobody ruining our day." Kim, still filming, egged her on. "Show her, sis." And then, in a moment that would haunt everyone in the room, HOA spat on Lily's hospital gown. Kim followed suit, her spit landing on Lily's arm. The sisters cackled, oblivious to the gasps from a nearby nurse. Lily froze, her eyes welling with tears. She didn't scream or fight back. She didn't have the strength. Instead, she pressed the call button with a trembling hand, her dignity fraying but intact. The nurse, a young woman named Sarah, burst into the room, her face a mask of shock. "What is going on here?" she demanded, positioning herself between Lily and the sisters. HOA rolled her eyes. "Oh, relax, it's just a little spit. She'll live. Or maybe not." The cruelty in her tone was palpable, and Sarah's jaw tightened. What the Karen sisters didn't know was that St. Mary's had recently installed high-definition cameras in every corridor and patient room, a response to rising incidents of abuse. Every word, every gesture, every glob of spit was captured in crisp detail. As HOA and Kim continued their tirade, berating Sarah for overreacting, a security guard named Marcus was already watching the footage in real time from the control room. His blood boiled. He'd seen a lot in his 10 years at the hospital, but this was a new low. Marcus radioed for backup and sprinted to Lily's room. By the time he arrived, HOA was in mid-rant, demanding to speak to the hospital administrator. "Do you know who we are?" she bellowed, jabbing a finger at Sarah. "We'll have your job for this." Kim, still live streaming, turned the camera on Marcus as he entered, mistaking him for an ally. "Oh, good, security's here. Arrest this nurse for harassing us," she crowed. Marcus didn't hesitate. "Ladies, you're done," he said, his voice low and steady. "You just assaulted a patient on camera. The police are on their way." HOA's smirk vanished, replaced by a look of pure panic. Kim's phone dropped to the floor, the live stream still running, broadcasting their downfall to their stunned followers. "Cameras?" HOA stammered. "What cameras?" Sarah, meanwhile, had wrapped a blanket around Lily, who was quietly sobbing. "You're okay now," Sarah whispered, her own eyes glistening. "They can't hurt you anymore." Lily nodded, clutching the blanket like a lifeline. The room felt smaller, the air thick with the weight of what had just happened. The police arrived within minutes, 2 officers with stern faces and handcuffs at the ready. HOA tried to spin a story, claiming Lily had provoked them, but the footage told a different tale. The officers watched the video on Marcus's tablet, their expressions hardening with every second. "You're under arrest for assault and battery," one officer said, cuffing HOA's wrists as she protested loudly. Kim, still in denial, tried to grab her phone, but the second officer stopped her. "You're going too, ma'am," he said, securing her hands. As the sisters were let out, the hospital staff lined the corridor, their silence louder than any cheer. Patients peeked from their rooms, some whispering, others shaking their heads. HOA and Kim, once so proud of their bluster, now looked small, their bravado stripped away. The live stream, still active on Kim's abandoned phone, captured every humiliating moment, racking up thousands of views and comments like "karma's real" and "disgusting." In the aftermath, Lily sat quietly in her room, Sarah by her side. The hospital administrator, Dr. Patel, visited personally to apologize and offer counseling. "What happened to you was unacceptable," he said, his voice heavy with sincerity. "We're pressing charges on your behalf, and we'll cover any additional care you need." Lily managed a weak smile. "I just want people to be kind," she said. "That's all." Word of the incident spread like wildfire. Local news outlets picked up the story, dubbing it the Karen sisters scandal. The viral live stream fueled public outrage, with online petitions calling for the maximum penalty. HOA and Kim faced not only legal consequences, but also the unrelenting judgment of the internet. Their social media accounts were flooded with condemnation, their carefully curated image of victimhood shattered. Back at the hospital, Lily's story inspired change. The staff organized a fundraiser for cancer patients, raising thousands to cover treatment costs. Volunteers began visiting the oncology wing, offering companionship to those who, like Lily, felt alone. The cameras, once a source of controversy for their invasiveness, became a symbol of accountability, a reminder that cruelty would not go unchecked. HOA and Kim, meanwhile, faced a harsh reckoning. Their court date loomed, with assault charges carrying potential jail time. Their cousin, the one they'd been visiting, refused to speak to them, ashamed of their actions. The sisters' lives unraveled, their arrogance replaced by regret they couldn't voice. They'd thought they were untouchable, but the world had seen them for what they were. Lily, though scarred, found strength in the support around her. She started a blog, sharing her journey with cancer and her hope for a kinder world. Her words reached thousands, a quiet rebellion against the cruelty she'd endured. In her final post before her next round of treatment, she wrote, "Kindness costs nothing, but it changes everything. Choose it." The hospital corridor, once a stage for cruelty, became a place of healing. The Karen sisters' names faded into infamy, a cautionary tale whispered among staff and patients. And somewhere, in the hum of those fluorescent lights, the world felt a little lighter, a little more just. The end.